The Last of Us Part 1 is one of the greatest games ever made. It is the story of a man who loses his child and then isolates himself and from the outside world, completely shutting himself off from love and attachment, and then is thrust up and has this young girl thrust upon him, has to look after her, get to the other side of the country to save her life and to save the world, and he has to basically remember what it's like to be a father again. This game is very heavily inspired by The Road, an award-winning novel, and it is a masterpiece of storytelling. That being said, do not buy the remake. Comparing The Last of Us 1 to The Last of Us Part 2, The Last of Us Part 1 is like the novel The Road, and The Last of Us Part 2 is like The Walking Dead Season 8. We go from a very subtle, well-written story to a story about revenge, where the whole plot is revenge is bad, killing is bad, broken up by parts where you have to kill lots of people to get revenge. So you're killing hundreds of people and then going, oh, don't kill this person, they have a PlayStation Vita, you shouldn't have killed that person. And then kill another 20 people, and then, oh, you shouldn't have killed this person because she's visibly pregnant, even though you could have killed hundreds of pregnant people for all you know. And then you kill another 20 people, and it's like, oh, you killed the dog. Should have killed that dog. It was actually a nice dog. It played fetch with Abby, and it's one of Abby's dogs. You shouldn't have done that. And it's just essentially a depressing story of being vengeful, and revenge being bad, being the main plot point, and it never really getting past that, and it never really becoming a good, well-written story. The best part of The Last of Us Part 1 was the dynamic between Joel and Ellie, the dynamic between Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, and the storyline they came up together. Whereas the second game completely throws that in the bin and shows disregard for that entire dynamic. The Last of Us Part 2 I cannot stand. The Last of Us Part 1, however, is one of my favourite games of all time. And as I said earlier, you should not buy the remake. Why should you not buy the remake? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. You should not buy the Last of Us remake because you should probably buy The Last of Us Remastered. Or download it for free off PlayStation Plus Collection. If you have a PS5, the PS Plus Collection currently has The Last of Us Remastered on it. I have a feeling, but when the Last of Us Remake comes out, they're probably going to remove The Last of Us Remastered so people will buy the remake. But if you should play The Last of Us Remastered while you got the chance. It still holds up, and you have factions mode, and it is a really well made game. The Last of Us Part 1 Remake might look better, but that is subjective. Me personally, I feel like the new art style looks more realistic, but I feel like the original gives a more somber, more bleak, more soulful, more gritty realism to the game, which you will lose when the game is being remastered like this. It reminds me of one of my other favourite games of all time, Halo Combat Evolved, when they made Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary and remastered the game, bringing HD graphics and HD textures, but losing the heart and soul of what the game was, removing the tension from the Flood storyline, and not what was great about Halo Combat Evolved was the environmental storytelling, which kind of got lost with the remaster. Another reason why you shouldn't buy the remake is the original is only 9 years old, and the remaster is only 8 years old. As I said previously, the remaster holds up, and the remaster also has faction mode, which is a fantastic multiplayer mode, and is worth playing. If you don't have PlayStation Collection on your PS5, you can also buy The Last of Us Remastered for about £15 on Amazon or any other online services. The big selling point of The Last of Us Remake is that it takes the features from The Last of Us Part 2 and then adds them to The Last of Us Part 1. If you've played The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2, you will know that the only big real new feature is the ability to lay down. You're paying $70 so you can lay down in game, obviously. You're paying $70 to lay down. $70, lay down. It's absolutely absurd to me. That is the only real big change to gameplay, was the ability to lay down and go prone. Is that worth $70? $70? No, not at all. It's not worth that at all. And by buying these remakes and buying these remasters from Sony, you're just encouraging them to keep doing this process. This remake was they were originally pitching to remake the original Uncharted game, which wouldn't actually needed a remake and a remaster because that hasn't aged as well as this game. Why, when we're buying these type of games, we're encouraging Sony to keep doing nickel and diming strategies. The PS5 generation so far has only just begun, but they have become very stingy, asking for $10 upgrades for every game, and reselling you remasters on a constant basis, whereas their competitor Xbox gives you all the remasters for free. So it shows that you can do remasters without recharging the customer, and you should be able to. And you shouldn't support this kind of dodgy practices. And that's pretty much all I have to say. So, to recover, The Last of Us 1 is fantastic. Buy the remastered. Don't buy the remake. The remake is a cash grab. It has less features. And it takes away from the original art style and the original art direction of the game. It is better. You are better off to buy The Last of Us remastered than buying The Last of Us remake, in my personal opinion. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Are you planning to buy a remake? Do you like remastered? Were you planning to buy a remake, and then listening to this, you've changed your thought process, and maybe you're going to get remastered? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, this week, later, guys.
We're on the road to 5K. Join Potato Club today and too sweet that subscribe button.